Man, have you heard of this guy, Nagumo? Sounds like every teenager's dream, right? You're sitting in math class thinking, damn, I wish a dragon would eat my teacher right now. And the next moment, boom, you're in Narnia. First, let me paint a picture. Nagumo is an average 17-year-old Japanese kid. His life probably consisted of anime, homework, and a new K-pop band. But suddenly, he and his classmates, athletes, nerds, mean girls, are teleported into a fantasy world. It's like a school field trip, only with more dragons and less adult supervision. Every kid gets a superpower. Now, while some get cool stuff like fireball or thunder, punch, boy Hajime gets fusion. That's like giving someone a calculator in a gunfight. No wonder he's become a laughingstock. And then there's that dungeon hike. Yeah, it seems even fantasy worlds need electives for college entrance. Hajime tries to fight the monster, gets rebuffed, and the team leader says, "Brother, you need practice." No kidding. But then drama happens. A shiny crystal appears, and like moths to a flame, one guy runs towards it. But surprise, surprise, it's a trap. They all teleport away, monsters appear, and of course a big bad dragon. The leader tries to impersonate David Copperfield, creates a blue dome, but the dragon prevents it from destroying him. Then our boy Hajime, thinking quickly, uses his ability to synthesize to create a wall. Not the most exciting thing, but hey, it gave them some time. But just as he feels like a hero and starts running to his friends, someone's jealous ass releases a magic ball at him and our hero. Along with the dragon, falls into the abyss. He wakes up in a dark maze. He can't figure out if he's alive or dead. And then a cute, harmless rabbit appears out of nowhere. Hajime thinks, thank God, easy prey. But this isn't Bugs Bunny, folks. This rabbit destroys wolves like they're made of paper. But hold on. A bear comes along, eats the rabbit, and looks to Hajime as his next appetizer. This bear doesn't just want a hug, it keeps hunting. It takes Hajime's hand and eats it as an appetizer. In a panic, the hero tries to escape using the transformation spell. Realizing that he is bleeding to death, he begins to faint, but notices a life-saving rock. Now, here's if I'd lost my arm to a bear in a dark, creepy maze, I'd probably chalk it up. But not our boy. With magic and willpower, he thinks about how he can survive in this creepy place. And as he reflects on life, he remembers this girl. She must be a great cutie. She warned him, but he said, "Nah, girl, you'll save me, won't you?" Rage and betrayal overwhelm him, and Hajime turns into Bear Grylls. He says, "I'm not going to die here." Hunts down a wolf, eats it. And suddenly he's in Pimp My Ride, Fantasy Edition. His hair turns white, his eyes turn red, and he looks ferocious. This is no longer that weak, bumbling kid. He's now the anime Joker. After he ate the wolf meat, he started to change. He realized he was stronger. His hair went from black to white, and his eyes turned red. He became much cooler than he was. Using his new abilities, he creates a weapon, a revolver with bursting bullets accelerated by the lightning he received. Immediately, he destroys the rabbit he was running away from earlier. After eating the rabbit, he becomes faster and decides to return to the bear and get revenge. He defeats the bear and eats it, which tastes better than anything else. After that, the protagonist Hajime finally gains confidence in his abilities, and from a kind, sweet guy turns into a strict and strong fighter. Now he's on his way home, and he's ready to destroy anyone who gets in his way. That's the way of a real man. What happens next? All right. So, y'all heard about this Hajime Nagumo guy. Man, this dude's out there in a maze fighting monsters like he lost his car keys. I mean, seriously, dude. You lost in a maze? Man, the only maze I'm trying to solve is which fast food joint to hit up after a show. Now get this. Instead of going up, this dude is like, I ain't seeing no exit signs here. Guess I'm going down. So he's meeting all these crazy monsters, and the deeper he goes, the tougher they get. It's like when you date, the further you go, the crazier the exes you hear about. Then he hits a door. A big old locked door. Now any sane person would be like, hey, let's leave the creepy door alone, right? But no, not our hero. He tries to open it and bam! Petrified ogres come to life. And these aren't your friendly neighborhood Shreks. They're out for blood. But guess what? They got one eye. Just one. Dude's like, I got this, and goes all Clint Eastwood on him. Makes gun gesture with fingers. Pow! Pow! See ya, Cyclops. But the real twist? Behind the door, there's a girl. Not just any girl, but a girl sealed in magic. That's some Harry Potter level stuff right there. And she's like, help me, help me. But Hajime, being the cautious dude he is like, you seem pretty comfy in there. I'ma head out. But then she plays the betrayal card. Man, ain't that relatable? Everyone's been betrayed, whether it's by a friend, a lover, or that guy who promised you the last slice of pizza. Anyways, our dude helps her out because apparently he's a sucker for a sob story. Just as they think they're done, here comes Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. But this one ain't looking for money. He's looking for blood. Now, our hero's got a choice. Run or fight? What does he do? Shield the girl, of course. Chivalry ain't dead. It's just lost in a maze with a dude named Hajime. Now the plot twist. The girl? A vampire. Not the Twilight kind either. The I'ma drink your blood to power up kind. And together with her fiery magic and his badass gun, they roast Mr. Krabs. Hope they had some butter ready. So, lesson of the day? Next time you're in a maze, make sure you got a vampire on speed dial. And never, I mean never open a random door without an exit plan. So, our protagonist, Hajime, runs into a girl. And it's not just any girl. I'm talking about a vampire. But not like Dracula. No, she's the kind with killer hair, golden blonde waves flowing down her back, and deep, crimson red eyes that scream, I've seen some stuff. And by seen stuff, I mean a few centuries because she's over 300 years old. But don't be seduced. She, like Benjamin Button, looks like a 12-year-old girl. Apparently, immortality comes with some beauty benefits. Who needs anti-aging cream when you have eternal youth, right? Here comes the plot twist. This vampiress was royalty, a princess turned queen. But then a family drama happened. Her uncle and some conniving vassals decided she was shining like a diamond too. Much, and locked her up. If that's not a family reunion, I don't know what is. Hajime was like, hey, what's your name? And she's like, you know what? I don't even want to remember my past. It's all total drama and bad blood. No pun intended. Hajime, okay, let me think about it. How about... Apparently, it means moon. Between vampires and moons, the only thing we're missing is a werewolf for the Twilight sequel. But let's talk about her looks for a second. Our girl Yu has a knack for changing her age. One moment she looks like a teenager, and the next she looks like a mature woman. She must have one heck of a skincare routine. The next she looks like a mature woman. She must have one heck of a skincare routine. And let me tell you, this girl is always thinking about Hajime. Have you ever met someone so grateful that they are willing to die for you, even if they literally can't do it? That's her. Speaking of tools and toys, our boy Hajime, after seeing Mr. Krabs' version of this dungeon, decided he needed an upgrade. Went and created a rifle. Armor, piercing ammunition. After all, when you are in a maze with monsters, Walmart is not far behind. They roam the neighborhood, and Yu, with all his ancient wisdom, says, I think there's something divine down there that can get us to the surface. I'm not a realtor, of course, but when she says, your house is now my house, it's binding, even though Hajime told her so himself. But that's where things get really crazy. They come across these funny dino, monsters with flowers on their heads. Looks like a failed attempt at gardening to me. They guess that these dinosaurs are being controlled by something. They're not just walking around enjoying the maze atmosphere. So they find the main monster's cradle and bam! There are green orbs everywhere. It's like a bad rave party. Before you know it, our girl Yu is already in control, attacking Hajime. And then this green plant-like diva, the boss monster, shows up. She throws green orbs left and right, and one hits Hajime. Suddenly, a flower appears on the dude's head, but no, not him. He just smirks and says, nice try. I'm immune. And with one good shot, he saves the day and his damsel in distress once again. If you find yourself in a maze with monsters, make sure you have a vampire and a good rifle on your side. Now, these two adventurers, strolling through the worst version of Disneyland you've ever seen, stumble upon the Hydra logo, and I ain't talking about a designer brand. We're talking a multi-headed Hydra. You think having one boss at work is bad? Try dealing with a monster that can argue with itself. The fight is on! Hajime's busting out everything in his arsenal. Yu's dropping fireballs like it's a 4th of July BBK. But then, plot twist! This Hydra ain't playing. Out come these creepy purple spheres, shooting magic beams like it's laser tag on steroids. And let me tell you, our man Hajime, he ain't ready. He's on the floor, looking like he just saw the bill after taking his date to a 5-star restaurant. But you, oh man, this girl, she's like, hold my earrings. And with the battle cry of it's my turn to save you, this vampire queen grabs a revolver. I mean, who even gave her a gun? But then life throws a curveball. That Hydra ain't playing fair, and down goes our girl. It's heartbreaking, like seeing your team lose in the last minute of the game. But wait, it ain't over. Hajime, my man, gets a power-up. Like when you get that second wind after a long day and still need to clean the house. Dude goes supersonic. Speed, agility, everything dialed up to 100. And with that burst of energy, Hydra's toast. So they get down there, right? And instead of finding the world's most terrifying monster, they find a skeleton sitting on a throne. Sounds like my family reunions. And as Hajime walks up to it, I'm thinking, man, that's like walking up to your credit card statement after a weekend in Vegas. Ain't nothing good about to pop out. But plot twist. Instead of a monster, we got this holographic spirit named Oscar, giving out advice like a discounted Obi-Wan Kenobi. Turns out Oscar isn't there for some deep philosophical chit-chat. No, he's just a pre-recorded message. Imagine getting to the end of a haunted house, and instead of a ghost, there's just a voicemail. Now, this Oscar fella transfers all his wisdom to Hajime and tells him there's more mazes with their own set of troubles. It's like when you finish a jigsaw puzzle and someone just dumps another box on you. But our man Hajime ain't worried. There's a forge in the room and he's thinking, I might as well gear up. That's right, folks. Always be prepared. But let's switch gears here. Let's talk about this woman is over 300 years old, but acts like she's on her 12th birthday every day. She's out here chasing after Hajime like he's the last chocolate in the box. And boy, does she hate it when he talks to other people. She's got that smug look down to a T. Every time she pulls that face, it's like she just heard the juiciest gossip and ain't gonna share. And let me tell you about her powers. She's like a mix of your grandma with the strength of a linebacker. Physically, she can take on anyone and everyone, but she boosts her mojo by, get this sucking blood! And not just anybody's blood. Oh no! She's exclusive. Only Hajime's blood will do, which makes their relationship a bit bitey. Then there's the brain on her. She's smart. She's not just playing 4 chess. She's invented 5 chess and is teaching it to the others. And you'd think being over 300 years old, she'd look, well, 300 years old. But nah, she's out here looking 12, all thanks to her automatic regeneration. Though she's got a small mana problem. Run out of it and she's done for. It's like running out of battery on your phone at the most crucial moment. Now her love for Hajime. Whoa! It's hotter than a summer day in Texas. This guy found her, gave her a new lease on life and even a new name. And she fell for him harder than I fall for a buy one, get one free pizza deal. And honestly, can't blame her. He promised her adventures, a trip to his homeland. That's some solid boyfriend material right there. But man, does she get territorial over her man? Other guys. She's out here throwing shade like an umbrella. And the way these two communicate, it's like they got their own secret love language a look here. A smile there, a little blood-sucking everywhere. In conclusion, boys and girls, if you ever find yourself in a maze, hoping to find a holographic mentor, remember this tale, life, love, and labyrinths. It's all about the journey. Not the skeletons you find at the end, but the story doesn't stand still. Let me explain it to you. Because what I'm about to tell you is a sequel. And it's crazier than my cousin's idea to open an underwater hair salon. So our dynamic duo Hajime and Yue traversed what I can only describe as the world's deadliest escape room. I mean, come on, a maze? It's just that navigating IKEA seems like that sometimes they decide they need a little break. You know, good old Netflix and chill without Netflix. And believe me, they weren't watching reruns of Friends. They were upgrading. It's like going from a folding phone to the latest iPhone overnight. Now, Hajime, the man, is unleashing his potential the way I wish I would when I'm trying to find the TV remote. He's making gears, cars. Dude made a motorcycle and a car from scratch. I can't even bake pancakes without setting off the fire alarm. And when they talk about the Emba couple, dude, they're not just unbeatable. They're like Beyonce and Jay-Z if they had magic and fought monsters. Remember when Hajime lost his arm? No big deal. Dude just did like Tony Stark and made a new one, metallic. If I lost my arm, I just have one less arm to snack on. But not Hajime. His new arm probably supports Wi-Fi or something. And that's where the fun part comes in. You know how you buy a ring when you really love a person? And Hajime just carelessly crafted it out of magic and, as I understand it, dragon tears. He put it on Yu's finger and said, "Hey girl, remember that time in the maze? Do you want it to be forever?" That's one way to ask a question. And Yu's probably thinking, man, this guy just made a whole motorcycle and proposed with a magic ring. I win. Afterward, they stand in the magic circle and wait for a portal to appear and take them on another crazy adventure. And honestly, they look at it like it's an elevator that's about to take them to a spa or something. But with the way these two are spinning, I'm sure it's going to be something wild. Okay, friends, fasten your seatbelts, because I have a story for you that's wilder than when my cousin believed he could fly after watching superhero movies. Believe me, that story has more twists and turns than a soap opera on double speed. Imagine that. Our dynamic duo, Hajime and Yue, have just stepped out of the world's worst room and stepped out into the sunlight, or rather appeared out of a teleporter. Just when they take a breather and think they can finally get that umbrella drink, they encounter a missed opportunity of the Marvel Universe. They are met by Shia Haulia. She's overjoyed and panicked. Our couple saved her from a horrible monster, though they didn't realize it. This is not your grandmother's Easter bunny. She's an atavist. Imagine Mother Nature had a freaky period and decided, hey, let's mix bunnies with hot psychic models. That's what Shia is. And she doesn't just have regular bunny ears. They're like satellite dishes tuned to the future. She can predict the next fashion trend while walking away from danger. So she predicted that heroes would show up and help her. In terms of fashion, the girl is just on fire. Her sleeveless bikini armor screams,
I'm ready for battle, but I won't say no to a beach vacation either.
"Who needs versus when you've got Hajime in your corner with his mad dye skills? Create a cape that can turn heads and protect against magical arrows. Sign me up." And can Hajime's take on jewelry design be appreciated? Turning a slave collar into a fashionable piece of jewelry? He's the versus of magic. But these gifts weren't instant gifts. Shia had to work hard to get a fancy piece of jewelry first. Better, stronger. But that's later. Back to the story. And Shia's introduction? Iconic. It's like a romance show. She tried the old "I'm hotter than your girlfriend" trick on Hajime. Bold move. Then, when that trick failed and burned out faster than my attempt to go on a diet, she threw the psychic card. I guess in one of her visions, she saw that the underdog game was working. She indicated that she could help the heroes, but she needed help first. She's also a sweet girl bunny. Well, take her. Now, behind all the brashness and swagger, Shia has a noble heart. She's on a mission to save her tribe. It's like Bambi deciding, "You know what? I'm tired of running. Let's fight back." Her rabbit tribe has been on the wrong side of the food chain for too long. So when Hajime and you get into a fight, it's as if the Avengers are in a schoolyard bully situation. But Shia is doing more than just charity work. She's aiming to make the A-team. Training with you, she transforms from cute bunny to battle-hardened warrior with a sweet personality. Their training footage must have been epic. Imagine you and Shia training at sunrise, flying magic spells, and that massive warhammer. I think Shia ordered it from the Weapons of Abundance catalog. It probably came with a manual larger than a phone book. But this hammer was eventually made by our wizard, Hajime. He's already a master craftsman. That's why girls like him. So after proving that Shia is neither a chatterbox nor a bunny, our newly minted trio gets down to business. They come across this rock and you're thinking, what's so special about the rock? Turns out it's sort of like a magical version of a credit card. Swipe it through the right maze and you get VIP access to... Honestly, I have no idea, but it sounds cool. Our couple is about to leave. But what about the rabbit? And the tribe wants to go with them too. Yu says Shia deserves to be there for them. They had an argument. If Shia hurts you, then she will go with them. And what do you think? Of course, she could do it. Since Shia's power of love has no boundaries and no barriers. She will follow Hajime anywhere. But here with the tribe, Hajime decided to explain everything himself. He said that he would come back for them. When he needs help, they must be ready. The first stop on their magical mystery tour? The labyrinth. Shia was the first to discover it. She almost died, but her friends helped her. Hajime decides to check out this cute rabbit. Shia has to fight a horde of monsters. And she plays them like it's a Tuesday arcade game. Boom! Boom! And the monsters go flying off in all directions. But there's so many of them, we have to keep running, even though she is having a lot of fun. Finally, they get to the main event, the battle with the metal giant. Remember? Transformers, only more dialogue and more destruction. And our trio? They're tighter than the jeans I wore in high school. Combining their skills as the magical Voltron, they quickly take down the big bad guy. That's what teamwork is all about. And that's when Hajime realized that this cute bunny, asked to be on the team for a reason, she's really cool and cute to boot. But just when you think all is well, the master of the maze shows up, a little minion. Our heroes learn that they've defeated the magic shell and they're good. And that's the end of it. But they're not satisfied. They thought, Well, he's a sneaky little prankster. After giving the master a good shake, the squad gets the coveted element and lots of cool stuff. Now, they are at peace again, with new challenges on the horizon. Shia has her eyes on the prize, and by prize, I mean Hajime. You and Shia's friendship is like a magical tennis match. Each is trying to outdo the other in the competition for Hajime's attention. But behind the rivalry lies respect, camaraderie, and a hint of may the best woman win. In conclusion, if someone tries to spin you a story about their wild weekend, just ask them, was there a psychic warrior rabbit there? If the answer is no, then you have a better story up your sleeve. It's a very hot story. So it's about a dragon girl. But how did she end up in Hajime's squad? First, our heroes were tasked with finding a missing nobleman who went to explore the dark forest with other fighters. But as time passed, no one returned. Hajime agreed in return for a favor, creating adventurer cards for his squad. After a long search, the guy was found, but it turns out that their squad was attacked by a dragon. It's been a long time since anyone has seen them, and he's the only survivor. There's some doubt. But then the facts came out. The dragon attacks again. After a brief battle, Hajime interrogates the dragon. Why does the dragon attack humans? At first, it was learned that this dragon, a girl. Can you imagine? A formidable, terrifying monster ends up being a beautiful girl. She can turn into a dragon when her mana runs out. She'll revert to human form. And she doesn't hunt humans. She's been spelled and manipulated like a toy. Now she wants to redeem herself and help people. She also really liked Hajime. Do you know why? Because he's tough and brutal. Her name is Tio Clarus. They didn't believe her at first, but you is a vampire and she confirmed it. She said that vampires and dragons are an ancient race, and she could be useful. That's how she joined the Hajime harem. She doesn't really fight for love, but she really likes the way Hajime behaves. Like a real cowboy, as brutal as possible. They also get information from the dragon girl. That this sorcerer is leading a huge army of monsters on the settlement. He wants to destroy it completely. But in this settlement lives Hajime's former teacher. A sweet and kind teacher who came with them to this fantasy world. He will not leave her in trouble as she has always been kind to him and helped the class in times of need. By creating a strong defense, Hajime's squad stands in the front lines and meets the enemies with heavy fire. It's very epic. Monsters burn in droves, especially when you have such a beautiful dragon on your side. But there are a lot of them. And Hajime realizes he has to find the leader, the chief sorcerer of the horde. And together, they find him. Turns out, it's his former classmate. What a twist! But what happened? Simple, he made a deal with a demon for his own gain. Bad move. That's no way to build a harem. You end up with heroes. The Hajime squad brings back the missing guy, gets their cards, and hits the road. Happy ending. Did you think that was it? But no. Now, here's one of the top stories. Remember the girl who talked Nagumo out of going to the labyrinth? Just when you thought the story couldn't get juicier, enter stage left Kaori. This girl has a heart of gold and an immense guilt weighing her down, all because she had that heart, to heart with our man Nagumo. I mean, what's a girl to do when her pep talk lands her crush in an abyssal labyrinth? For a hot second, it looked like lights out for Kaori. You could practically hear the soap opera dramatic music playing. But don't worry, here comes her bestie, Shizuku, slashing through with her sword and sense of duty. Picture Shizuku, a blend of samurai badassery and beauty. If Mulan and Wonder Woman had a love child, it would be Shizuku. These two? They're a dynamic duo for the ages. While Kaori's out here with her priestess, powers the kind that makes you wish you had her on speed dial, every flu season Shizuku's sharpening her sword, making it known she's not one to be trifled with. Driven by Nagumo's mysterious disappearance, The duo plunged back into the labyrinth, but the plot thickens. They find themselves facing the sequel to their dragon battle. Enter the big bad, a demon who's watched way too many recruitment ads. He's got a minion, a former classmate, and eyes set on amassing more members. Tensions rise, monsters pop out like a twisted jackin. The box, and just when things seem bleaker than a British weather forecast, cue the dramatic entrance. Nagumo, flanked by his glamorous entourage, arrives. It's like when your favorite band does a surprise entry at a concert. For Kaori, it's a flood of emotions. The boy she thought was lost forever stands before her, sporting a new bad boy aura. Shizuku, ever the skeptic, takes a moment but soon realizes that it's their old friend, albeit with a glow-up. Baddies dispatched, day saved Nagumo, in all his newfound glory, is ready to head out. But wait! Drama alert! Kaori, bless her heart, lets it all out. All that pent-up love and worry come gushing out like a dam breaking. It's like watching one of those movie moments where everything is in slow motion and you're yelling at the screen, "Go girl!" Shizuku, ever the loyal friend, decides she's in for the long haul too. They're essentially saying, "You're stuck with us now, Nagumo." No takesies, Beck-size. The story's hero? He's caught in a delightful dilemma. Instead of one or two, he's now got an entourage of powerful beauties. Now, that's a happy ending for sure. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put a bell